Hey guys, we're live from the barn, and today we're answering a bunch of questions about liniment. And what were the 4 questions? How to use it, why to use it,
will it irritate?
Will it irritate my horse if I use it underneath where the boots are or where the saddle pad was?
Can I use it before I ride?
And can I use it before I ride? So, where do we start with liniment?
I think to start out, we need to say liniment is great. Know why you're using it. Know why your horse, like if your horse is sore, don't just rub liniment on it. Like you need to get a vet to help you. Like there needs to be a reason why you're using it. If it's because they're sore. If it's because, like my belief, you use it when you've worked them hard. You know, you're at a show, you rode them maybe a little harder, or the ground's a little deeper, all that kind of stuff. You use it as a, make them feel better. But if you're using it thinking that it's going to cure a horse that's lame, you need to figure out why. Like if it's muscle sore, or is it, you know, a broken bone?
Yeah. Okay, so that's a good point. So, figuring out why you're using liniment, I think, and that's, you know, that's kind of the first question is like, why do I use it and how do I use it? Liniment is meant to be something that you use to help aid in recovery. It can be for the muscles and the tendons and the ligaments. And not all liniments are created equal. There's a lot of different liniments that serve different purposes. So the thing you want to do is kind of know what it is that you're trying to treat with your horse, and you also want to know what product it is that you're using and what the intention is for that product. So some products are meant to warm and some products are meant to cool, and you want to make sure that you know which one you're using and what you would be using it for. So we have 2 that we like and have used. One is a real strong leader, but this one is the absorbing veterinary liniment gel, and it has a warming action. So this one I would not use underneath a saddle pad or underneath boots or anything like that. That one I would use if there's a little bit of muscle soreness. And you know, obviously you want to read the back of it, read what the instructions are. The benefit to something that warms, I think, is that it penetrates deeper into the muscles. So if you have like deep muscle soreness, this one is probably going to help. This is probably going to be your first pick, but you don't want to use it underneath any of your tack. And any of the ones that are warming can be a little bit more of an irritant to the horse. So they're not ideal if your horse has really sensitive skin.
I think it goes to say too that, again, knowing what you're after, there are times where you want an irritant to help it, help the horse better, and there's times you don't. Like so much of it is knowing when to use it. Like the old wise tale used to be, if it's cold, you heat it up, and if it's hot, you cool it down. Yeah. Which I think holds a lot of merit. Yeah. You know, let's say it's an old horse and the bones are achy and creaky, you know, we call that cold. They need to be warmed up a little bit. They need to be, you know, brought to life a little bit, warmed up. Yeah. Or if it's an old injury and you're trying to stimulate the body, I think that's a cold one.
I think it's just a little bit misleading. Like, I think what a lot of people think is, oh, it's a warming liniment, so I'll put it on before I ride, but you wouldn't want to put a warming liniment on underneath your tack. Right. That said, Absorbing is a really great company. You know, you have the instructions right on here, you have all the ingredients, and then you also have, like, you lift this tab up and it gives you a whole bunch more information about how to use it. So
I never knew that was there.
Yeah. Well, cool. now you know. So this one says, rub the absorbing veterinary liniment gel thoroughly on the muscles, tendons, and joints to speed effectiveness Apply with the lay of the hair and cover with a standing wrap. On the back, the shoulder, and the flank, it's effective for pre-workout rubs. Do not apply under the saddle before riding. So, and it also talks about using for shipping and shipping boots. There's some really good information in there. So that one is a really nice product if you're looking for something that warms. It has witch hazel in it, it has menthol, it has wormwood and echinacea. And then our favorite, are we both saying that this is our favorite? This is my favorite.
Mm-hmm. I think that one's the most used for sure.
This one is...
You know, I feel like on a day-to-day basis we use that a lot more.
Yeah, we go through a lot of this, and a lot of people that ride with us like this one. This one is a cooling only. This one's the Soar No More Performance Liniment. It's an herbal liniment, and it can be used as a bath brace. It says it's lobelia free. I don't know what the deal is with lobelia. It's probably a banned substance or something, but if you care about it being lobelia free, then you know that this one is lobelia free. This one has witch hazel, comfrey, arnica, rosemary, and lavender in it. So it is all natural. It's all herbal. However, this one, if you're riding with the NRHA, what is it? NRHA, AQHA, and NRCHA. It's all a banned substance.
Is it?
NRHA it is. Yeah, I looked it up the other day because I knew that Soar No More was, and out of all of those ingredients, I would have thought it would have been arnica that was a banned substance, but it's not. It's actually the lavender and the comfrey that are both banned substances in NRHA.
Oh, there you
So
go.
yeah, you actually can't use the Liniment or the Soar No More poultice if you're in a situation where you are going to be tested riding with. I mean, you need to check your banned substances with anywhere that you're showing. And I don't know why. Donna was here the other day. One of our vets was here the other day, and she was saying that I think it was comfrey can be dangerous when given in large amounts, which I don't think you would ever be able to give a horse large amounts of this.
No, but when they're drug testing, they have to
just
settle
test.
on
It's either positive or negative. Yeah. I don't know how lavender would be dangerous for them, but anyways, it does test, but it's great stuff. So this one is cooling. This one, you have to shake it really well before you use it. You can spray it on. This one you can use under tack. You can use it under boots. You can use it under your saddle pad. You can use it before you ride. And you can mix a little bit with water and use it as a back brace. So it's recommended for daily use. And what you do is you just shake the bottle and then you spray some on. You can spray it on their back, you can spray it on their shoulders, you can spray it wherever they're sore or wherever you've given them a really hard workout, and then just rub it in. If you're doing it on their legs, they like to just spend a little bit of time just really rubbing it in, or on their back, just rubbing it in. I always rub in the direction of the hair, but I don't know why that was on the direction thing. Maybe some people are not doing that.
I think one thing, aside from the product thing, like we're just talking about liniments, you cannot just rub it twice and think this stuff is going to work.
No.
The amount that you rub, like 10 minutes, you know, if your hand, you know, you rub it twice and you walk away and your hand, you know, some people say, well, I don't really feel it. If I'm going to rub one, I'm going to rub on them until my hand is tingling. That's when you know the horse's leg is the same thing. The amount that you rub, I think, is hugely important. I think the product is important, but I think applying it with some zeal to it. Now, if your horse is hurt, don't just go grabbing legs if they're hurt, because feet might fly. And the same with stifles. Like, I'm a big one when everybody rubs for me. It's, you know, you rub stifles for a good 5 minutes, and you stand where you're not in harm's way in case they kick out. I want them to rub it enough that that horse feels that tingling, and it's on a stifle where they're a little bit more sensitive. And I think it's an important thing to get the product into the skin as best you can. I think, sometimes we use different, like DMSOs and stuff, to get fluorescent in there, or, different things that we think about. But the topical liniments, I think sometimes I see it, it shows all the time, people spray it and don't even rub it.
Yeah, and when you think about the way that the horse's hair coat is designed, like for nature, just a little mist or a little bit of spray is not meant to penetrate right to the skin. The hair is designed so that the water goes off of it. So you need to actually rub it in to make sure that it gets right to the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for some people,
that's a good point.
It involves gloves.
Yeah.
Some people have really sensitive skin. I mean,
yeah. That warming stuff, that spearmint, that'll heat your hands up.
I think it feels great.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel it,
I don't like
where
it.
I don't have any.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have hair on our hands. Well, I guess some people do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I have very delicate hands, so if I can't feel it, how's the horse going to feel it under that hair?
Yeah.
Get the product in so it can do its job effectively.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge one.
Yeah.
One thing I was always taught, my dad was a big one for rubbing horses. And his big thing was, and it was a bit of a joke with a little bit of seriousness to it, was rub them till the hair falls off.
Yeah.
He was a big one on you rub it.
Yeah.
You got to get the
really
massage
get it
in there. You got to get it
yeah.
in. And I mean, there was some rubs that we did that you actually.
The hair did.
Yeah, you wanted, like if you're blistering a staple or whatever, you wanted to rub that thing, and that's when it was effective. That's when it worked. I think especially the liniment gel, like if we put one up at a show and they're a little tired, I love the feel of that on my hands. Normally if they're tired, so am I a little bit. And you rub that thing on their shoulders or their forearms or their hips or wherever. And I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I believe that one's a great one, more on muscles. I might be wrong. I mean,
the warming one?
Yeah, I think when I put a horse up, I feel like that's a better one on the muscles.
Yeah.
Their backs, their shoulders, the reiners and the cow horses and the ranch riders, across their loins is a big one.
Yeah.
And then the Sorno more, if I don't feel like they're really tired on the back is good, but I love the Sorno more on the legs more.
Yeah.
And I think that's just personal preference. But
I think, I think the warming ones just penetrate more, so they're probably better for like a big, deep muscle. But you do have to be careful because you can't use it where you're putting your tack. Obviously, with your legs and your back, right where the saddle goes, are not big, deep muscles, right? But yeah, that one. So if we go back to our questions that were asked, like why and how do I use it? So you're going to use it. It's more of I would say liniments are more of a preventative thing and more of a, like, you want to kind of use it every day or use it after your horse has had a really tough workout. If you went on a really long trail ride on the weekend, or if you went to a horse show, or if you came to a clinic, or you just had a hard lesson, if your horse is coming back from being out of shape, those are all really good reasons to use liniment. You wouldn't use liniment if all of a sudden your horse is head bobbing. So there's a difference between like a real lameness issue versus just like kind of a body soreness issue. And then you also have which one to use. So you have the warming ones, which are good for really getting deep into the big muscle groups. But you have to make sure that you're being careful about, like you can't put your tack on, you might want to wash it off with your hands and that kind of stuff. Or you have the cooling one, like this one that we like so much, that you can use anywhere other than their eyes. You can actually even paint it onto the bottom of their feet, or you can mix it with a little bit of water and then give them a bath with it. It's very safe, very cooling. It aids in healing.
I think the bath one is one that a lot of people don't do enough.
Yeah.
And us included.
English people do it more than Western people. I feel like Western people don't do enough with liniments and bath braces and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I always like when we get somebody in the barn who's ridden English before or has worked with standardbreds before, because
I was going to say, and track, the track horses, it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
Because they're dealing with that type of muscle group where they've stretched them out and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they want them to recoup really well till the next day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so do we answer all the questions? How and why do I use it? What was it? How and why?
Why and how do I use
Liniment?
one? Check.
Yeah.
What's Liniment used for? Check.
Check, yes.
Can I use it before I ride? Yes.
Yes.
Will it irritate my horse if I put it where boots or the saddle pad is?
Depends on which one you use.
Which one you use and how you're wrapping it.
Which one you use and how you're wrapping it, yeah.
So I think one thing you said too, just to clarify to some people, the heating one said that you could put it in wraps, but that's standing wraps, not working wraps.
No.
You know, you wrap them at night, you let them be, and they're not, the blood's not circulating, they're not heating that up. And I kind of think another one that might I might be wrong on this one, but I'm a big one too. If I get to the horse show and it's 33 degrees out, Canadian,
Yeah.
you know, and it's so bloody hot we can't even see straight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to use a lot of heating those wraps up. I'm going to do everything in my power to keep those horses cold, unless there's a reason and I need to help a leg out. You know, so sometimes, you know, you kind of have to think that stuff through a little bit.
You know, the other way that I really like this product being used is we have a few clients who do this. They're really good about doing this religiously, where every single time that they ride, and especially after they have a tougher ride, they'll spray their horses down and they'll rub them down. And I think it has, you know, it has benefits to the healing, especially for an older horse and stuff. It has benefits to helping them heal and recover faster, but it's also a really pleasant experience for the horse. It's, you know, it's cooling, it smells nice, it's relaxing. The horse gets to sit there after a tough ride and have the rider's hands on them, rubbing their legs, rubbing their back, just taking that little bit of extra time with them. So the horse gets that nice experience. And what may be the most beneficial out of this, even this whole conversation, is that the riders spend the time rubbing the legs with their hands, so they really get to know the feel of their horse's legs. They get to know the tautness of the ligaments and where there's any puffy spots or if there's any heat. And you cannot replace that. You cannot replace that intimate knowledge of your horse's legs, because some horses puff up and it's very natural and it happens all the time and it goes away with exercise, you know, or it doesn't, but it doesn't cause them any pain and it's no problem. And some horses, if they puff up, you know, it's an issue, you know, something has happened. So having your hands on them and being really, really familiar with what is normal for your horse, whether it's on a day-to-day basis or it's normal for them to have a little bit of heat here, a little bit of puffiness here after this type of workout, that gives you so much intel into how to keep taking care of your horse moving forward, that I think just the act of actually rubbing the liniment on is maybe more valuable than the actual liniment sometimes in the longer term.
There's nothing beats getting your hands on their legs, shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody says, oh, I didn't know they were sore in their back. Well, you start rubbing their back with your fingers. You know, you're going to feel little things and feel what's normal for that horse too, so that when you get to a horse show and that horse is naturally twitchy, you get to a horse show and he's just a hair bit twitchy, you say, well, is this normal for that horse, or is this, you know, or how come he's all of a sudden twitchy when I'm rubbing, you know, down by a gasket, you know, like wherever on the horse's body. Yeah. I think that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And it's I think you gotta get your legs on them, or you gotta get your hands on them. Get them hands on them legs.
Okay.
I just like the feel of it.
I have a question for you. Being a farrier and seeing that they recommend this product to be sprayed right on the bottom of the feet. What do you think about that?
I would imagine it's the witch hazel.
What does witch hazel do for their feet?
Kind of cleans up a little bit in that thrush area. And the same with a lot of the old time hoof oils.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember, there used to be an old friend of my dad's, and he made some hoof oil, or he had somebody make it up for him. I see him on Facebook. Dave McCormick was his name. He's a track farrier down in Dresden. Very comical, neat guy. And he used to sell it. I want to say he made it, but it didn't matter. Anyways, he sold this stuff. And it was like fats and oils, and then a bunch of like peppers and like different things as irritants.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything, when it irritates a little bit, it promotes growth, it promotes healing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it does all that kind of stuff. So anything like that is what works. And then a lot of times too, I think what a lot of people forget to realize when they're bathing them horses, that stuff's seeping down into their foot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you put something up top, it's likely going to go down into their foot because water has a tendency to go with gravity. Mm-hmm. But I would think that would be...
I wonder if the arnica would help bruising in the foot too.
Arnica is one thing they put on feet too.
Yeah.
I guess I've never looked at the Sore No More as something for their feet.
Would they feel that? Would they get a cooling sensation in their feet?
You can definitely... They'll feel that stuff.
They'll feel it?
Oh yeah. They use arnica all the time. Anything that just promotes natural healing.
Yeah.
You know, all that kind of stuff. All works the same. It's still a living tissue, right? It's harder to get into the living tissue.
Yeah.
When you think of the hoof wall.
Yeah.
But up into the frog and all that stuff, and the bulbs of the feet especially are very sensitive. Mm-hmm. You know, the cornet band. So
if you have a bone bruise, you could use, or not a bone bruise, if you have a bruised sole, you could use Sore No More on the sole. Yeah,
it would be less effective as let's say, a bruise in the skin. Mm-hmm. But anything that promotes healing, I mean,
yeah, it's gonna help.
Better than not.
Cool.
I don't know the effectiveness of it. I mean,
yeah.
The other products are used more. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it would or wouldn't work because I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's all the same products, just in different forms. I think anytime you put it into liquid form and it can stay on the foot for a little bit, like if you have a real bad one, you soak them. Mm-hmm. You know, then it really absorbs in there.
Yeah.
I sounds silly. I've never looked at. Well, I didn't even know the back of that thing come off to look at what's underneath.
Now you know. You're learning a lot today.
I learned more than anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so and witch hazel are always good for feet.
Yeah. So just for a reference, this one is $23.95. What are these ones? These ones are 86, I think. This one is 86.
They last forever.
Let me check because that might be the whole list.
So now that I'm on here all by myself and I can say whatever I want. Yeah.
I actually don't know. I don't have the price over here on it. Oh no, they're 48. Those are 48. The poultice that's 86.
So these ones here are 48.
Those ones are 48. It's the poultice that's 86.
Those ones last a long time.
And this
too.
one is $23.95. You don't use a ton of it because it has that really fine mist, so you get a lot out of it. And then we also have this bigger one, so you can just refill your spray bottle. That one's $124. We do have those available on the shop, and we're more than happy to answer questions if you have questions about Liniment. We have a clinic coming up this weekend where the horses are going to get a lot of riding, and it's a nice thing to be able to put on at the lunch break. We could put it on before they ride. We could put it on the lunch break. We could put it on at the end of the day. We could do a bath brace at the end of the day. It would be really nice. But just a nice way to help take care of the horses when we're working them hard. And ourselves. It's not bad to have a little bit on your hands. At the end of a clinic day when you're dirty and dusty, it feels so nice and it smells so nice.
I think it feels really good.
Yeah. Okay, hopefully we have answered your questions about Liniment. Like I said, if there's something that we have not answered and we can help you out with that, let us know. if you're interested in purchasing any of those, you can head on to our website at hayescofellperformancehorses.com, and then you have to go across to select the tack shop, or you can go directly to the tack shop at rainingtackcanada.com. We will not see you next week live because we are going to be away at a horse show, but we'll get a replay situated for you, and send us your questions for the next few Q&As.
Sounds good.
Have a good day.